Picture this. You've just sent an email to a client, and one awkward phrase makes them pause, reread, and suddenly question your professionalism. That is how powerful small English mistakes can be in a negative way. They're like stains on a crisp white shirt or pink. They're tiny, but they're distracting. I've seen whole meetings shift in tone because of a single misplaced word. So here's one quick tip that you can use right away. Instead of writing, and I see this often, instead of writing "please revert soon" in your emails, which can sound strange in English, especially to a native speaker, just say, "I look forward to your reply." It's simple, clear, and professional. And the good news is, once you can spot these little mistakes, they're actually easy to fix. And when you do, your communication shines. Sharp, clear, and confident. So, stick around, because today I'll show you how to ditch these sneaky business English blunders once and for all. And you're not going to want to miss the Mastery Minute. I'll share a classic English phrase that could save you from making costly mistakes. And, as always, I'll be taking a few of your questions live at the end, so stick around. And let's jump into it. So, let me introduce you to Julia. Julia is a smart project manager who leads big international teams. But she had a problem. Her emails often sounded too stiff. She would begin every message with phrases like, "I'm writing to inform you," or "please be advised." Now, to her colleagues, these lines felt cold and distant, almost robotic. The result was people hesitated to engage, and her updates often got overlooked. That's not a good thing. So we worked together to help her replace those openers with warmer, clearer ones, like "just a quick note to let you know," or "here's an update on the project." And her communication instantly felt friendlier and more natural. Her team trusted her more, and projects started to move faster. That's when her leadership truly started to shine, and she took over as this wonderful project manager. That is the power of fixing sneaky English blunders. Just small changes with big results. Here's the thing. Most professionals don't lose opportunities because of big grammar problems. It's the small, sneaky mistakes that chip away at trust. These little slips, like an awkward preposition or a word that sounds too formal, they signal to others that you may not be as confident or clear as you really are. And over time, it can cost you your credibility, your influence, or even cost you opportunities. We don't need that. But the good news is, once you spot these little errors, they're actually easy to fix, like I said. And each correction makes you sound sharper and more natural and more professional. So we're going to dig in and explore some of the most common blunders and how you can ditch them for good. Are you ready? All right, let's go. Now this one is really big. Let's start with the one that I see all the time. When I was working in a Korean company, I saw this constantly. It's in emails. People will write "revert back" when what they really mean is "reply." So imagine you send this to a client. "Please revert back soon." To many native speakers, that sounds confusing. Like you want them to reverse something instead of just answering. So here's how to fix it. Keep it simple. Write something like, please reply soon, or I look forward to your response. I like to say, I look forward to your swift reply. It's clear and professional, and it's easy to understand. There's no question what you're talking about. That's a small change that your reader will help you, will start to understand that you're thinking clearly and you're communicating directly. And even though it's a tiny little thing, it does make a big impact. So, misusing common words. That's the first one. The next one is overly formal phrases. I taught a guy, I worked with a guy who's, unfortunately, his manager demanded that all of his staff use the most formal English when they were writing. And so he had a really hard time because he was always very formal. So he would begin every email or every message with, I'm writing to inform you, or please be advised. And to her, or to him, it sounded professional, like to his boss. He was like, yeah, this is what I like. But to other people, colleagues and foreigners, it felt robotic and distant. Imagining opening an email that starts like that, it doesn't make you want to keep reading, does it? And that's the worst thing. You want people to read your messages. So here's a better way. Switch it to something warmer and clearer, like just a quick note to let you know, or here's an update on the project. And even though they sound a little casual, they're actually very professional. They're friendly and approachable. Remember, warmth plus clarity beats stiff formality every time. Every time. Guaranteed. Unless, of course, you've got a boss who demands it. But it made it really hard for him to switch careers. So this one is another sneaky mistake. Wrong prepositions. For example, people often say, let's discuss about this. But a native speaker would never add about after discuss. You can talk about something, but when you're discussing, you just say, let's discuss this problem. Think about that. Let's discuss about the problem. If you say that, it immediately marks you as a non-native English speaker and less polished. But if you simply say, let's discuss the problem, it's smooth and professional. So here's a tip. Pay attention to collocations. That's words that naturally fit together. In this case, it's discuss plus topic, not discuss about. Like I said, we talk about things, but we just discuss things. Okay? All right, the next one is a big problem for a lot of people. It's a common trap, translating directly from your native language. For instance, someone might write, I will pass you the information. And in many languages, that works. But in English, especially business communication, it just sounds odd. I will pass you the information. The natural phrase is, I'll send you the information. So the problem is, direct translations can make you sound less professional because the tone doesn't match what native speakers expect. So how do we fix this? Pay attention to real examples from emails, meetings, or presentations. And if you don't have frequent meetings or presentations in English, that's okay. You can watch YouTube. There's another channel called VoiceTube that's designed for English speakers. Watch some of these during your lunch break or other times when you just have a moment, and then copy what the native speakers actually say. So in this case, instead of passing information, send it. That one shift makes your English sound instantly more natural. And our last one, and I get this a lot too, using big words to try to sound smart. I once reviewed a proposal that said, "We must utilize this opportunity to commence the project." And it was so full of heavy words that the message got buried. Here's the reality. Big, complicated words often confuse people or make you sound distant. The fix is simple. Instead of utilize, just say use. Instead of commence, just say start. The clearer your words, the stronger your impact. So, we should use this opportunity to start the project. Straightforward, professional, and easy to trust. And speaking of trust, I love to say I have what's called the KISS rule. Keep it super simple. You can learn more about that in my 5 Hidden Conversation Hacks course. So, simplicity builds trust. If people understand you easily, they'll see you as clear and confident and professional. And listen, marketers know this. Marketers, politicians, they understand this very well. And they always aim for simple, clear messages so their ideas reach the largest audience. You can do the same thing. So, all right, your challenge for this week. Look at your last 3 emails or meeting notes. Circle one sentence that feels awkward or too formal. Then rewrite it in simpler, clearer English and notice how it feels more natural and professional. Try it out. It definitely works. And then after you do that, maybe come back. Drop some comments in the comment section. Let me know what things that you found and how you fixed them. And listen, if you have ever thought, hey, I don't have time to learn English, this course right here is built for you. Mastering English for Busy Professionals. Takes just 10 minutes a day. It focuses on skills that actually move your English forward. There's no wasted time on boring drills, just practical communication you can use right away. The link is in the description and in the chat. So, speaking of the chat, drop your questions in the chat and we will answer a few live right after the Mastery Minute. Now's your chance. Don't miss it. Here we go. And the Mastery Minute today. Today's phrase is to the letter. To the letter. What does that mean? It does. That means doing something exactly as instructed with no changes. So, think of a time you got a new gadget or a new thing. Anything. Could be a gadget, could be a piece of furniture from IKEA. The manual told you step by step how to set it up or put it together. But maybe you thought, I'll skip a step. It can't be that important. And then suddenly, as you finished, at the end, it just didn't work. And that's what happens when you don't follow directions to the letter. Now, the phrase actually comes from Old English, where letter referred to the smallest details of written law or instruction. So if you follow the rules to the letter, you're doing it precisely, word for word, detail for detail. So, for example, she followed the contract to the letter, so there were no mistakes. Or if you don't follow the safety instructions to the letter, the machine won't work properly. Yeah, we don't like that. There's a waste of money. So sometimes being flexible is good, but when it comes to safety, contracts, or instructions, following things to the letter can save you from costly mistakes or maybe even some embarrassment. Ooh, we don't want that, right? Okay, I think we've done it. We've managed to get 15-minute mastery done in 15 minutes. And that is it for episode 55. Today we looked at sneaky English mistakes that can damage your business communications and how to fix them. And next time, on Wednesday, we'll tackle one of the most confusing points for learners. It's not the most, but it is a confusing point. When to use may and when to use can in conversations. It's a subtle difference that can completely change how polite or confident you sound. You don't want to miss this one. And if you enjoyed today's video, if you enjoyed the tips today, give this video a like, hit the subscribe button, and share it with a colleague or a friend who you know who wants to improve their professional English. I'll see you again on Wednesday night at 9:30 p.m. Korea Standard Time. That's 8:30 in Taiwan and Hong Kong. If you live anywhere else, you'll have to do the math yourself. All right. That's it. That's all the time we have. And I don't see any more or any questions in the comments, so I'll see you next time.